Housework? Why would I ever do that? Such menial tasks are meant for someone of your lowly status, like a housewife. If you don't want to be called a parasite, you better work hard. I tried my best to hold back my emotions after hearing those words. My nails dug deep into my palms as I clenched my fists tightly. I had always been on the lookout for an opportunity to get back at my sister-in-law who looked down on me for being lowly. My name is Charlotte. I have been married to Mark for about 2 years. Initially, after our marriage, I intended to work alongside Mark.
I can't let my wife work. It's against my pride. I'll earn, and I want Charlotte to stay home.
However, due to his somewhat old-fashioned belief that I became a homemaker. Being a homemaker is quite challenging. I wake up early to take out the trash, prepare breakfast, and pack Mark's lunch. After Mark leaves, I clean the house, carry heavy grocery bags, and prepare dinner before he returns. Then there's dishwashing and cleaning the bathroom. There's always so much to do. With no time to rest, I sometimes feel it's better I'm not working. Around our second year of marriage, Mark proposed.
How about living with my sister? She said she wants to live with us. I think you two will get along.
But I haven't really talked to your sister much. Will living together suddenly work out? Why this sudden proposal?
We don't have our parents anymore. It's dangerous for a woman to live alone these days. I'm worried about her living by herself.
Mark adored his sister. Having lost their mother at a young age and living with just their father and sister, it was natural for Mark to look up to his sister as a mother figure. In Mark's stories, his sister was always kind, wise, and dependable. Mark was enthusiastic, saying,
"Now it's my turn to protect her. Just meet her once. I'm sure you two will get along."
He persuaded me and I agreed to meet Sophia. A long time no see, Charlotte. Hello, Sophia. It's been a while. I hope we can get along well from now on. I had only met Sophia once during our wedding greetings and didn't know her really well. She's an ambitious career woman, a graduate from a top women's university, and works for a major company. Mark often bragged about her, saying she earned more than him. Talking to Sophia, I could tell she was highly intelligent, probably due to her education. She was quick-witted and pleasant to converse with. She was stunningly beautiful, with every detail from her hair to her nails meticulously taken care of. I felt a twinge of jealousy when Mark commented on how beautiful she looked. We enjoyed our conversations at the cafe, and in the end, Sophia paid for everything. Seeing the thick wads of cash in her expensive-looking branded wallet, I couldn't help but get excited. I naively hoped that with her substantial earnings, our household income might increase. However, my expectations were too high. Living together was fun initially, probably because I treated Sophia more like a guest. I treated Sophia like a guest, which might have been why things were smooth initially. Sophia was in good spirits and even gifted me some barely used branded items, saying, "I don't need these anymore. You can have them." I thought the three of us could live happily together. However, about a month into living together, Sophia's true colors began to show. Like Mark, Sophia had a high sense of pride. She constantly bought branded bags and accessories to compete with her female colleagues. Once the trend passed, she would discard them. Chasing after the latest trends, Sophia hardly saved any money and she didn't contribute to our household expenses. The branded items she gave me were just things she no longer needed. At first, I was happy to receive them, but soon I was overwhelmed with the sheer number of items she pushed onto me. I later found out that Sophie moved in with us because Mark wanted to save her from paying rent. She avoided rent to buy more branded items and Mark had planned it all. Had I known this, I would never have agreed to live with Sophia. Mark had kept this from me when deciding to live with Sophia. Mark, doesn't this bother you?
Oh, what do you mean?
When I criticized Sophia, Mark seemed unfazed.
As long as my sister is happy, I'm happy. I'm just glad to live with her again.
Yes, Mark had an extreme sibling obsession. He blindly adored his sister. He didn't mind that she didn't contribute financially. He even gave her allowance, further spoiling her. This made Sophia even more arrogant. Sometimes, when she wanted to buy an expensive branded item beyond her salary, she would ask Mark for money. If Mark doesn't lend me money, I'll have to borrow it, she would say, putting me in a tough spot. Mark, thinking he was being relied upon, happily lent her the money. It would have been fine if she just contributed. Our income remained the same as before. Sophia moved in. However, Mark giving her an allowance meant our expense exceeded our income. Plus, having an extra person increased our living cost. I had once asked Sophia, "Could you please help with the household chores?" But Sophia looked down on me saying, "Why should I do such menial tasks? That's a job for someone of your lowly status. I work hard and earn my money, you know." "But you don't contribute to the household expenses." "How I spend my money is my business."
That's right, Charlotte. If you talk back to my sister, I won't stand for it.
Mark turned out to be such a good boy.
Sis.
Mark murmured as Sophia affectionately stroked his head. It might be cute for children to show such affection, but seeing two adults act this way gave me chills. This brother-sister duo was beyond saving. I clenched my fists so hard that my nails dug into my palms. I felt utterly alone in this house. Even my husband was out of control. Seeing Sophia's attitude and realizing there was no hope for improvement, I began plotting my revenge against her. One day, an uncle I've been close to since childhood called.
I'm in the area. How about lunch together?
I've always been close to this uncle. We would meet at family gatherings and especially during Christmas. He had a gentle aura that I was particularly fond of. He looked and acted so much like my father, which was no surprise since he was my dad's younger brother. My father and he were very close. My dad often joked with a wry smile,
"It's a bit complicated feeling when my daughter seems closer to my brother than to me."
Accepting my uncle's invitation, we went out for lunch.
Heard Sophia's living with you? How's she at home?
I was taken aback when my uncle mentioned Sophia's name. "Do you know Sophia?"
Yeah, I'm her boss at work.
I was doubly surprised when my uncle nodded and said that.
Sophia is excellent and works hard at the company. I sometimes worry if she's getting enough rest at home, but I guess I shouldn't pry into her private life.
When I learned about the relationship between Sophia and my uncle, I had already devised a plan for revenge against her. If you want to see Sophia's usual behavior, it might be best for you to see it firsthand. I promised my uncle that I would secretly show him Sophia's usual behavior, and we just had lunch together before parting ways. Later that evening, I decided to invite my husband and Sophia to a restaurant for a discussion. I managed to persuade the two, who seemed to have no suspicions, and booked a table at the restaurant. I later reserved the seat next to ours for my uncle. Conveniently, there was a partition between the seats. You could hear the conversation from the next seat, but you couldn't see the person. A few days later, my husband Sophia and I sat at the reserved table. My uncle should already be seated next to us. "So, what's this discussion about?" As soon as she sat down, Sophia asked me in a curt tone, "Well, why don't we order some food first?" I tried to calm things down by handing Sophia the menu. After ordering, water was served. I took a sip to ease my nerves before broaching the subject. The truth is, I invited you here because I have something to discuss. I want to live separately from Sophia." At my words, Sophia looked at me with disdain and said, "What do you mean?" I feel like I have reached my limit living with Sophia. Her closet is full of luxury items. She doesn't contribute financially to the household, and I wish she would at least help with the chores. "Why should I do housework? Isn't that something for low-status people like housewives? Why should I do it?"
That's right, Charlotte. Don't be selfish towards my sister.
Who's being selfish? And since when is being a housewife considered low status? Are you challenging me? This must be a joke. Sophia, seemingly agitated, grabbed a glass of water and splashed it on me. "You should just do the chores in my place. You don't even earn money, so don't you dare tell me what to do." The restaurant went silent after Sophia's outburst. Sophia seemed out of breath from shouting so loudly.
"So, Sophia."
A man's voice hesitantly called out to Sophia. Recognizing the voice, Sophia looked shocked. "Manager, why are you here?" "My uncle. Is there a problem?" I calmly replied to Sophia as I wiped the water off with a handkerchief. You set me up?" Sophia glared at me with a horrified expression, but it was too late. My uncle looked utterly shocked at Sophia.
"Sophia, no matter how talented you are, this behavior is unbelievable.
Manager, please wait. This isn't what it looks like.
What's different? To me, it looked like you were belittling my niece.
I mean... My uncle sighed deeply at Sophia's attempt to explain.
Sophia, even if you're a valuable employee, I question your character. If this is how you behave in your personal life, I would have to reconsider entrusting you with tasks in the future.
Oh. Sophia's face turned pale. Her pride visibly shattered. My uncle then turned to me with a kind tone.
Charlotte, I'm glad I could see Sophia's true colors. Thank you for your cooperation.
No, thank you for your help. Now, I can leave Sophia and my husband without any worries.
What do you mean by leave?
Mark's voice trembled. Mark, I want a divorce. I have already prepared the divorce papers. Just sign here. I pulled out the divorce papers from my bag. My section was already filled out.
Divorce? Why?
Why not? Don't let me say I don't know. I slammed the divorce papers on the table. The palm hits the table and makes a loud bang. If you want to live with your beloved sister so much, do it without me. I can't deal with you two anymore. Sign it now. With trembling hands, Mark signed the divorce papers. I checked to ensure everything was filled out correctly and put the papers back in my bag. I'll submit these to the court. I'll pack my things and move back to my parents' house. Thank you for everything. I stood up, apologized to the other customers and staff for the disturbance, and left the restaurant. After Mark and I divorced and I moved back to my parents' house, rumors about the incident spread at Sophia's workplace. She became the laughingstock even among her brand-conscious female colleagues. Her pride crushed. She had it in her resignation to my uncle. Sophia and Mark still live together even though she's unemployed. Sophia refuses to lower her living standards and doesn't do any housework. At first, Mark tried to juggle work and household chores, but it became too much. They argue daily with Mark shouting, "Sophia, help out a bit. You're not working, so at least do some chores." Why should I do chores? You said I didn't have to.
That was then. This is now. It seems the siblings bicker every day. Their close-knit relationship was only possible because I was there to handle all the household chores. On the other hand, after moving back to my parents' house, I started looking for a job. Even with a gap in my resume due to being a homemaker, I found work as a housekeeper providing home cleaning services. At one of my assignments, I met a man and things have been progressing well between us. My heart raced when he gave me his contact information, expressing a desire to see me outside of work. This time, I want to be cautious and observe his behavior and attitude closely to ensure I can have a happy life. I don't want to be fooled by another sibling obsession again.